Thank you all so much. It's a tremendous honor for me to have been invited to be here and to share with you some of what we think we've learned from 30 years of systematic surveys in this remarkable city. Back in 1982, I was a very young man, and I did a one-time survey. Houston was booming because of the oil boom. This was a biracial southern city, riding the oil boom to continued success. One-time survey. 2 months after that first survey, the oil boom collapsed. And so he said, my God, we better do this survey again. And for 30 years, then, we've been taking a random sample of Harris County residents, asking people identical questions over the years. How do you see the world? What's happening in your life? And watching the world change. And we've had three different years in 1995, 2002, and 2011, a systematic survey of the Asian populations of Houston. So I want to share some of that with you and just remind us, I think, primarily how and why this city and this nation have been so fundamentally transformed over the last period of 20 to 25 years, why the 21st century is a different place than most of us thought it was going to be 15 or 20 years ago, and above all, of course, this remarkable new demographic reality. In the 1960s, about 3.5 million immigrants came to this country. Only 38% were from Europe. 1970s, almost 5 million immigrants came, only 18% were Europeans. 1990s, about 10 million immigrants came. In the year 2000s, about 10.5, 11 million immigrants have come. 88% coming from Asia, Latin America, Africa, and the Caribbean. And the United States, that throughout all of our history had been an amalgam of European nationalities, is becoming a microcosm of the world. The first nation in history, we think, that can say, we are a free people and we come from everywhere. There are two cities, Los Angeles and New York, that remain the great immigration capitals of the country. Still today, about 1/3 of all the foreign-born residents of the United States live in or around those two great cities, Los Angeles and New York, followed by lesser magnet gateway cities, Miami, San Francisco, Chicago, Houston, followed right after Houston by San Diego, Washington, D.C., Dallas, Boston, Atlanta, now spreading to every city and town across America. No city has been transformed as fundamentally, as suddenly, as irreversibly as Houston, Texas. By the year 2010, 8% of us are Asians, 41% Latinos, 18% African Americans, 33% Anglos. Had Houston not been one of the great magnets for the new immigration of the last 30 years, this city would have lost population. Houston would have had the same fate as other major American cities across the country that are beginning to lose their status as major cities. Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, Baltimore, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Buffalo. Instead, Houston is one of the most vibrant, rapidly growing cities in America with a tremendous entrepreneurial economy, purely because of the tremendous entrepreneurial commitments and energy and vitality and ambition and optimism of immigrants pouring into this city from Asia, Latin America, Africa, and the Caribbean. Houston is indeed the most ethnically diverse city in this country. We've surpassed New York in the most even distribution among the 4 great communities of America. There are very few Asians in Miami, there are very few Hispanics in San Francisco, there are very few African Americans in Los Angeles. This is where the 4 communities meet in greater balance, greater equality, all of us minorities, all of us called on to build something new under the sun, a truly successful, inclusive, equitable, multi-ethnic society that will be Houston and Texas and America in the 21st century. The American future is here in Houston now. How we navigate this transition will have enormous significance, not just for the Houston future, but for the American future. This is one of those key places where the American future is going to be worked out.